Hello everyone. Let's head on to our first case. Case 1. Am I the bad person for telling my ex-best friend I don't owe her anything, including a relationship with my son? When I, 22F, was pregnant with my son, 4, I found out his father, my then boyfriend and my, at the time, best friend were sleeping together. I broke up with him and ended my friendship with her. My ex was an inconsistent father and only really stepped up to appease some of his family when our son was newly turned 2. My ex-best friend was really enthusiastic about it, and she called herself a bonus mommy whenever she could. She tried to make me forgive her a few times, but I ignored her and focused on my son. The only time that wasn't true is when my ex broke up with her and she wanted to still be in my son's life. I told her that I was glad her two-timing slutty ass wasn't going to be in my son's life anymore, and she was never going to be his mommy in any kind of way. She didn't like me calling her that, and she tried to say she had grown so much and I should be glad someone who loves me also loved my son like she did, and I told her she never loved me because if she didn't, she wouldn't have slept with the father of my child while I was pregnant and then sent her ex, who she cheated on, to me expecting me to lie about it so he wouldn't know she cheated. My ex and ex-best friend ended up getting back together, but then my ex died. She went crazy because ex's family pushed her out once they found out. She wasn't welcome for any of the funeral planning or anything surrounding the funeral because they wanted my son around and they knew that needed to include me. We were on okay terms, and they knew I wasn't about to spend time with her. She tried to argue with me the day before the funeral because nobody would tell her anything, and she didn't think it was fair that I got to be around for that stuff while I hated him and she loved him but was shunned. I ignored her and carried on about my life. I guess at some point she talked to one of my ex's siblings and calmed down about that. But then she wanted to be in my son's life still. I blocked her number so she couldn't reach me and blocked her on my socials, but she was using fake accounts and somehow using random numbers to text me from. I ignored her pleas to see my son. I feel like my silence said everything. But after months of no reply from me, she decided to harass one of my friends, so I went to her directly and told her I don't owe her anything, which was something she said to me that I owed her at least some contact with my son, including a relationship with my son. I told her she was never anything to him and I wanted her to fade away from our lives because there was nothing to keep her around now. She broke down, and then her sister, who I forgot to remove from my list, messaged me and asked why I had to be such an ass when she's grieving the love of her life or whatever. Am I the bad person? What do you guys think? Lay down your ruling in the comments section and let's move on to our next story. Case 2. Am I the bad person for telling my sister she had no right to make promises on mom's behalf or mine and all hurt feelings are her fault? Please tell me if I'm a total AH to my sister or not. A few months ago, my sister found out that our mom had given a baby up for adoption when she was a teenager. She told me and went to confront mom about never saying anything, but mom shut down. Our dad told us that mom had been abused by someone in her family for years, and the pregnancy was a result of that. She wanted a termination, but her family prevented her from getting one. They wanted her to raise the baby, but she didn't even want to touch her and refused all contact in the hospital and said she wanted the baby to be adopted out. Her family tried to stop it, but mom threatened to reveal who the father was if they made her keep the baby. She was kicked out not long after, and mom was only 14 when all this happened, so it was deeply traumatic for her and something she still doesn't like talking about. She only told dad once and they never talked about it again. That's why dad told us. My sister told her she was in touch with the person mom gave up for adoption. That this woman wanted to meet her and ask questions and wanted to meet us all. Mom said wouldn't meet this woman and would not answer questions. My sister didn't listen, and she told this woman that mom had agreed to meet her. She actually went beyond that and lied and promised that we all wanted her to be a part of the family as a daughter/sister, and that mom had loved and missed her and thought about her every single day. Then she brought her to the house during a family dinner. Mom fell apart when she realized and locked herself in her bedroom. Dad told my sister she had to leave and had to take her guest with her. Dad went to check on mom while I made sure my sister actually left. My sister wanted me to leave with them and go to lunch, and that's when I found out about her promise for a relationship with everyone. I told my sister I wasn't going, and she left super pissed at me and at our parents. My mom isn't talking to my sister right now. My dad told my sister she had no right to pull the stunt she did, and my sister keeps trying to pretend I'm on her side when I'm not. She keeps talking about how hurt the woman was that we didn't want to meet and know her, and that she was treated like a criminal when she isn't to blame for how she was conceived. I told my sister she had no right to make promises on our behalf. And I said all hurt feelings are her fault for lying in the first place. My sister said it should be how we feel, and I said it's not. I said the fact is it'll never be. I said she can have a relationship with her if she wants, but she can't force Mom into it after everything Mom went through. Am I the bad person? What do you guys think of this one? Let us know in the comments section, and let's move on to our next story. Case 3. Am I the bad person for telling my boyfriend it's his fault that all his women have dumped him after he reacted poorly to my career success and wanted me to choose? Last week, I, F41, took my boyfriend, Tony M42, 5 years together, out on a date to celebrate a huge career milestone. Since 2014, I've been working towards getting a very comprehensive project from concept to reality. I took all the steps, got into a better situation 6 years ago, and I got commitment from investors to take it into its next phase. Tony is an engineer, important to the story. We met in college, and I've always considered him smart and a bit of my dream guy. I thought we would have a quiet dinner, reaffirm being there for each other, and then go have sex. Instead, I had to hear him ranting, saying how unrealistic I am and that I'm biting more than I can chew. Not gonna make this too long, so the whole thing sounded like a "who do you think you are?" from him. I had to explain there's no way I'm trying to bite too much. I have built my credibility, have worked very hard to establish a decent track record, and acquired solid associates to bring additional standing for our project. Still, he made very derogatory remarks, the kind one does when in disbelief or chronic disapproval, and said nothing is going to happen, that I'm stuck and that I compromised myself, for which he is concerned. I'm mad at myself for not saying anything on the spot. Instead, I've been overthinking. He and I had plans to get married, raise our kids in a blended family, and grow old together. He didn't congratulate me. He didn't even give me a celebratory kiss. I haven't even cried yet because I'm numb. The things he said struck a chord, and in a bad way. So basically, he thinks that I've been lucky. I did talk to him about it after I went to my place, and he doubled down with suspicions of cheating on my part. He says there's no way I could get this far. I asked if he's mad because my project would also include his industry, which he's very proud of, and he denied it. This is like an ice bucket to my head. We tried to talk 2 nights ago at his place, and I left feeling worse. He says he wants a partner to enjoy life together and that I'm too old to dedicate myself to a massive project because I should have done it earlier. I don't understand, since years ago, he wanted a successful woman for himself. He said I needed to make up my mind between my reality, which is our tangible relationship, and my perceived new developments. I reminded him about what he said, and that his words about me cheating or sleeping my way through my career was especially disrespectful because he knows I was harassed at some point and was concerned for my safety. He said I was manipulative. He called me last night like nothing happened. I broke up with him and told him to look in the mirror and ask himself why he was dumped by all of his exes. He said I was using very personal things that he told me against him and that it was disappointing. I texted him back and said I'm not responsible for his reactions when he was so inconsiderate. He has been asking me to apologize since he woke up. He sounds weird and a bit depressed, and he says I used painful situations in his past for leverage. His ex-wife divorced him, his ex-fiancée cheated and left him before the wedding. I don't feel like I owe him anything. I didn't mention anything specifically, but I just said it's his fault that his women run for the hill, figuratively. Am I the bad person for refusing, although I think this affected him mentally? Can't wrap my head around that story. What do you think? Who is in the wrong there? Let us know down in the comments section, and let's move on to our last case. Case 4. Am I the bad person for not sending my son to his grandparents after he cheated and broke her son's hand? I'm 34. She's 39. We've been together 8 years. She has a 15-year-old son, and I have a 14-year-old son. About a week ago, her son found out my son was sucking the face off his girlfriend. Her son came home and I had to break up a fight. That night, we were woken up to them fighting in my son's room again. Next morning, they went to school and my partner suggested that I send my son to my parents for a few weeks. She said you can't be proud of him. I said what he did was shitty and I'm not proud of that, but I'm still proud of him. I gave out a lot and grounded him, etc. The fighting continued, and probably a week later she brought up the idea again. She said he needs to move out until they calm down. I repeated until they calm down. I said there's only one of our sons starting fights, hers. She was furious and said her son is the victim. I said to a point. I disciplined my son for what he did. She should do the same for all the fighting her son is starting. Then a few nights later, she called saying my son broke her son's hand and it's my fault for not sending him away. Turned out, her son had thrown a chair at my son and they started pushing each other and he fell and broke his hand. They surprisingly resolved stuff after the visit to the hospital, but my partner is not happy. She thinks I downplayed cheating and said I should have sent him away and still should. 2 weeks on, she is still very unhappy. Am I the bad person? You've sat down, you've listened. Now, it's time to state your ruling. What is it gonna be? Let us have it down in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more cases like these. In life, we may run, but we can never hide from true justice. Stay safe, everyone.